Hey, how's it going, everybody? Shaun here from Zoobox. Spooky season continues. Another day, another horror movie in this month of October. Today, we're going to be talking about the 1990 film Child's Play 2. It's directed by John Lafia, written by Don Mancini. It stars Alex Vincent, Jenny Agutter, Garrett Graham, Christine Elise, Brad Dourif, Grace Zabriskie, Peter Haskell, and others. The plot synopsis logline on IMDb is while Andy's mother is admitted to a psychiatric hospital, the young boy is placed in foster care, and Chucky, determined to claim Andy's soul, is not far behind. So, yeah, I kind of have a soft spot for the Child's Play movies. I grew up watching them. I actually probably grew up more wanting to watch them, to be honest with you. Like, I remember, I have distinct memories of the poster for Child's Play 2. You know, it's Chucky standing over that Jack in the Box with the clown face, and he's got the giant scissors. It's something that I saw just at a very impressionable age. I was probably like 5, which is crazy that I still have like memories of actually literally seeing the poster at the movie rental place. You know, probably some sort of mom and pop thing, and they would have the lights surrounding it and kind of all the pageantry that goes along with movie rental places trying to sell you something, right? And I've always just had a soft spot for him because and Child's Play 2 was the first one that I ever saw. I probably saw it when I was like maybe 7 or 8. It's probably when I actually got around to seeing it. It was probably on cable, honestly, or maybe even on network television. Maybe there was, or USA or something like that. I definitely did not see, like, because my parents would not rent it for me, which is understandable, but also weird because like we used to rent Terminator 2 all the time. I was like obsessed with Terminator 2 when I was a kid, and they would rent that for me. But Child's Play, a bridge too far for my parents. But yeah. And it's kind of maintained. Child's Play 2 has maintained its status as my favorite Child's Play movie throughout the years, and I think the reason for that is because it is fundamentally a much more straightforward movie than maybe any of the other ones. It kind of plays more like a monster slasher movie. It's structured that way. And it has like a kind of a mean, dark edge to it that I've always enjoyed. I mean, the whole series kind of has that. There is kind of a mean spiritedness to the Child's Play movies that I've always kind of got a kick out of. You know, and I think it straddles the line between comedy and, thriller. I would say thriller more than horror. I don't know if I would ever say I was ever afraid of Child's Play. I don't know if it ever really got under my skin in that respect. But yeah, Child's Play 2 being kind of so straightforward, I think it's just held up better over the years. And I think that the aesthetic of it, kind of being a brighter movie, it's a very colorful movie, actually. Because a lot of times you would think like, oh, it'd be in the shadows, it'd be a little darker, in terms of the cinematography, but it's actually a pretty like well lit movie. And it kind of complements the notion of it being this nightmare children's world, almost kind of reminds me of that movie Toys, remember Toys? But yeah, so I've always just had an affinity for it. I've always had a soft spot for it. And revisiting it today, it still held my attention. I really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed it just kind of for the slight ephemeral thing that it is. It's not some sort of deep or interesting affair. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. I do think like the character of Chucky is kind of an interesting character, especially coming off of the first one. He's a fucking serial killer. And his soul is trapped in a doll, and he's trying to get his soul into this little boy's body. So as it's revealed in Child's Play 2, that if he stays in there too long, he will actually start becoming like human in a certain respect. I love it at the end of the movie when he gets his fucking arm, he gets his hand ripped off, and this little bloody stub, like he's waiting. Oh, I've waited too long. And Brad Dourif, obviously, the key to the franchise. Even today as an adult, as a 34-year-old man, I'm still like, I get giddy when I hear Brad Dourif do Chucky's voice. It's so much like fun, in its own weird way. It's like he brings such a personality to the character. Like, that's why it's so iconic. You know, it's like one of those perfect storms. Just the look of the character, and then also Brad Dourif's voice. I mean, and he really goes for it too. And it's something he's done throughout the entire franchise. You know, he understands the kind of movies that he's involved with making, and he just seems like he has a really good time with it. Even when the movies end up being kind of more humorous or satirical in nature, kind of like when you get Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, he just always hits the right notes. I've always really enjoyed it. And it's definitely the thing that has brought me back to the series time and time again. I've seen every Child's Play movie. Even, you know, and like the newer ones, the ones when Don Mancini kind of took over. You know, he's been the writer on the series since the beginning, but he took over as the main director of the series from Seed of Chucky forward. So he's done 3, I believe. I think that's it. I think there's 3, and they're doing a TV show. I think I said that. Right now, that is separate from the reboot. They did a reboot in 2019 that has nothing to do with the original series, because those movies are all in canon. They're all in continuity with each other, and they have gotten just crazier and wilder and weirder and more off the rails as it goes. But it has a sense of self-awareness that makes it fun, you know. And I just have always appreciated that. I don't know what else to say about that. But yeah, I really love just like the structure of this movie. I like the kind of the darker edge to it. I love, like I said, Brad Dourif. I think the supporting cast is pretty good. I think just the premise itself is kind of interesting. If you coming off of the first movie, having Andy being put in foster care and then having to kind of deal with that world. I mean, there was probably an opportunity to have like a much more thematically rich, interesting movie. They did not do that. They did not. They did not try to do that. They made a very straightforward, kind of goofy slasher flick. But I've always, you know, like going back to just the character of Chucky, I just like such a unique spin on something like this, the possessed doll thing, with, you know, just having the character be having the soul of the serial killer who is into voodoo. I always, just for some reason, that I always really love that. It's just a unique take on this type of material. What else could we say about Child's Play 2? If you've never seen Child's Play 2, I'd say give it a go. Granted, it is a direct sequel to Child's Play, so you might be a little bit lost. But really, none of that shit really ends up really mattering all that much. Like, you were given enough backstory and enough exposition from the characters, so you know where everybody's at. And you could probably just watch it as like a slasher movie, just in the same way you could watch a random Friday the 13th movie, right? You don't really need to see the entire franchise to understand what's going on or to enjoy one of those movies. And I would say for the most part, Child's Play series has that same kind of quality to it. They're kind of broken up into like almost like eras. They have the first 3 that feel very much in line with each other. Then there's Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, which feel very in line with each other. And then there's the new ones that they're doing now. What was it? Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, I think. And then they're going to do a Chucky TV series, which I'm not sure where it's going to be, what it's going to be on. Maybe it's like Stars or something, or is it an HBO show? I'm not even 100% sure, to be honest with you. But they have their own kind of vibe. It's a series that has kind of evolved over the years, and has managed to kind of stay fresh because of that. And what I like about the newer ones, actually, if there's something to like about them, they're not like my favorite movies or anything, but I like the meta quality to them and how they're kind of going back to the well in a sense that they're bringing all of the eras together. So I'm hoping that the TV show actually kind of continues on that road that they started on with Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, where everything is coming kind of full circle in a certain respect. And I really dug that. Just as a fan, just for the fun of it, you know? I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's just my stupid opinion. But yeah, Child's Play 2. I don't know where most people sit with this series, honestly. I would imagine, I think, like, if I were to be objective, I think Child's Play 1 is probably, like, the best one. But I enjoy Child's Play 2 the most. It's kind of like with Lethal Weapon. Like, the Lethal Weapon series. Lethal Weapon 3 is my favorite Lethal Weapon, and I know that it is not the best Lethal Weapon. You could probably make the same argument for Child's Play 2. To be honest with you. Because it is so slight. It is so, like, just straightforward, But hey. It's my brain. It's my taste. Okay? It's my taste. Yeah. Child's Play 2. Good times. Good revisit, everybody. I actually had to shut it off because my kid he got too afraid. He got too scared. And I was like, okay, well, you're too cognizant. You're too aware. I will have to return to this later when you are not around. And because I'm a responsible adult / parent, I did. That's what I did. I executed on my plan. But anyways, yeah. All right, everybody. You have a good one. If you would like to know more about Zoobox, there's a bunch of links in the description. If you want to make a recommendation for one of these daily videos, throw it in the comments, and I'll put it on the list. All right, everybody. Adios.